Hear that, folks? This train doesn't stop for no one. This train's got a mind of its own. Folks, we are going to win on November the 8th. Are you ready to make sure that we take control of the United States House of Representatives? Are you ready to make sure we take control of the United States Senate? Are you ready to make sure that our nation gets back on track? That we do what's right for this nation, that we make sure we have an economy that's strong, a nation that's safe, a future built on our freedoms, and a government that's accountable, folks. That's our vision. That's what we've been running on from day one. That's what we absolutely have to accomplish. And folks, this is all about making sure that we get folks out to vote. And I want to thank all of the folks from our local government that are here and our state representatives. I see a bunch of them here. I see Brian here from the school board. Where's Brian? There he is, right? Brian, thanks so much. Thanks for all that you do. We have Jen McNitch. Where's Jen? Jen's here. Jen's a great candidate for our Board of Supervisors. We want to make sure we get her across the line. Senator Amanda Chase. Senator Chase, thank you. We got Scott Wyatt, our delegates. Delegate Lee Ware. Delegate John McGuire. Let's see, is anybody else? Sheriff Carlin. Delegate Mike Cherry. Mike, thank you so much. Fantastic. Who else do we have? Oh, Carrie, there. Carrie, thank you. Carrie, thank you so much. Thanks for all you do. Listen, I get your weekly updates on what's going on in Richmond. Thank you. Great job. I appreciate that. Sheriff Leonard, thank you so much. Thanks for all that you do for the community. You talk about a real stalwart. I don't know when this gentleman sleeps. 24/7. I've been by the jail, the things that he's doing to make sure he gets people out of that terrible cycle of drug abuse, getting them away from this addiction to opioids. Sheriff, thank you so much. You are doing the Lord's work. Amen. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. Folks, it's pretty simple. We know the direction this nation is going in is the wrong direction. And it's not just those of us here. It's the majority of people across the nation say wrong direction. I tell you, I almost threw up. No, I did throw up the other night when I heard the president give that divisive speech about where this nation is, casting aspersions on hardworking folks that are trying to make ends meet and somehow saying that they are what's wrong with this nation. Folks, that's absolutely wrong. I can tell you, this vision for America is about what Republicans are putting forward. This is about what's in the windshield. It's not about what's about in the rearview mirror. And I tell you, Pastor Leon Benjamin said it well. This is about what we are going to do to take this nation back. Pastor Leon, thank you so much. God bless you. Thanks for all that you're doing. Thanks for the incredible work that you're doing and winning in the 4th district. We want to make sure that we get a win in number 4 too, folks. There are going to be a lot of wins to celebrate on Tuesday night. Pastor Leon's going to be one of them. God bless you, Pastor. Thank you so much. I love you too, Leon. Love you too, buddy. You're the best. You're the best. You know, folks, it really is about, as I said, what's in that windshield. The other side wants you to keep looking in the rearview mirror. And you know what happens if you keep looking in the rearview mirror? You run off the road. And guess what? They have run off the road because that's all they want to do is to look in the rearview mirror. We want to make sure we're looking in the windshield. What are the things we need to do to get this nation back on track? We want to make sure that we produce our own energy, folks. Let's stop relying on nations that don't like us. Let's produce our own energy. Let's go back to building the XL pipeline. We ought to be doing those things. Let's make sure, too, folks, we stop being dependent on China for things that are critical to this nation. Let's bring manufacturing back to the United States. We know that we can do that. We understand, too, folks, that it's about assuring that we have a workforce of the future. Let's do more to make sure we're preparing our children, our students for success. Let's make sure it's less about SOLs and more about preparing them for success, folks. That's going to be the incredibly important part going forward. I think we can get that done. Let's make sure let's make sure we keep our nation safe. Let's build the wall. Let's put Border Patrol agents at the border that actually patrol the border and not pick up folks and say, welcome here, we'll worry about it later. That's not the thing to do, folks. 2.3 million apprehensions at the border the last year. 98 of those individuals are on the terrorist watch list. Think about that. Those are the ones that raised their hand and said, hey, look, come and get me. Think about the ones that didn't want to be caught. Those are the ones that we also need to worry about. Let's secure our border. Let's make sure, too, folks, that we build a military that is capable of deterring China. We have to be able to do that, and we have to do that now, folks, and we are way behind. We want to make sure, too, folks, we have a future that's built on our freedoms. Let's make sure that we push back against things like vaccine mandates, mask mandates. We need to make sure that individuals are in control of their own health destination. We want to keep people safe, but we also want to protect their personal liberties and freedoms. And let's make sure we have a government that's accountable. Folks, the first thing Republicans need to do when we take control of the United States House of Representatives is we need to repeal the 87,000 IRS agents that are in the Inflation Reduction Act. And by the way, it's not the Inflation Reduction Act. They only got two words right. It is indeed the Inflation Act. All you have to do is to look at the cost in the gasoline stations and in your grocery stores. Folks, it is incredibly important that we get out and make sure we win this election. I'm going to ask everybody here to make sure that you find at least 10 of your friends and family and put them down on a list and say, have you voted yet? And if they have, you check them off the list. If they haven't, you say, okay, when are you going to go vote? And make sure they give you a time. So if they say, hey, I'm going to go out tomorrow, which is the last day they can early vote, or I'm going to go out on Tuesday at 10 o'clock, you make sure that at 10:30 on Tuesday, you call them and say, hey, have you gone out to vote? And if they say, oh, no, I've had some things come up, you say, okay, when are you going? And they said, well, I'll have to go now at 11:30. You call them at noontime. And you say, have you gone out to vote yet? And if they say no, you know what you do? You get in the vehicle and you go get them. And you make sure you take them to go out to vote. That's how important this election is, folks. Because remember, it's not just this year in gaining back the House and the U.S. Senate, but it's also about laying the foundation for next year. Because next year in Virginia, we have to continue what Governor Glenn Youngkin did, what Lieutenant Governor Winston Sears did, and what Attorney General Jason Miyares did, and give them a majority in the House of Delegates in the Virginia Senate. Are you ready to do that? Absolutely. And think about what they'll be able to accomplish to do that. So what happens now, folks can say, well, is it really that important? It's incredibly important. And what we do now lays the foundation for next year and the things that we can do. Folks, we are incredibly honored to have with us today the governor of Virginia. Glenn Youngkin has done an absolutely incredible job. Incredible job. We are so thankful for all the things that he's done. And the governor is not only making sure that we win these races in Virginia, but also that he's out helping folks across the nation, because he has seen, as the rest of us has seen, that it is about getting folks out to vote. It's about winning races where you don't think that we can win. He was just the other day with soon-to-be Governor Lee Zeldin in the great state of New York helping Lee. He was just out in the Dakotas helping Governor Christie Nome. I mean, he is everywhere, folks, making sure that we as Republicans take back this nation. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am so honored to have today here at a rally for Virginia our Governor Glenn Youngkin.